So let's say you're 3D printing a block like this with a hole in it, and let's say it's come out of your 3D printer and it's a little bit smaller than what you expected in terms of the dimensions, and you need it to be dimensionally accurate. So in order to, this is what we call in the 3D printing world plastic shrinkage, and this happens quite often with ABS and PLA plastic. And one way you can avoid that is to create parts that are dimensionally accounted for in terms of the plastic shrinkage for ABS and PLA filament. The average plastic shrinkage for ABS is about 2%, and for PLA it's about 0.2%. PLA is usually a better choice when you are creating four-dimensional accuracy, so that's probably the filament that you want to go with, and all features should be at least 2 millimeters in size. So if you 3D printed something like this, and you didn't account for plastic shrinkage, it might come out smaller like this. So you definitely want to make sure that whatever hole you're creating, it's slightly bigger than what you are anticipating by at least 2 millimeters, or by the percentage of 0.2% if it's PLA or 2% if it's ABS. And let's say sometimes filaments will they'll shrink the actual object itself, like this cube, and that'll shrink depending on which filament you use. So if you want to do that, if you want to avoid that, you want to take into account what the type of if the filament shrinks during cooling. And I've actually provided a table at the end of this section that portrays the difference between ABS and PLA in terms of cooling, in terms of functionality and things like that, so you can design accordingly depending on the material you use and the function you want to use it for.